Hello. In this episode, I'm going to give you the most controversial writing technique that will get you as creative as you possibly can while understanding the structure and writing of your favorite comedians. Let's get it started. Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Comedy, the show dedicated to inspiring new comedians. Each week I upload tutorial videos on performance and comedy. If you are starting out in your comedy career, then I urge you to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a future episode and get starting performing the best way you can. In this episode, I'm going to focus on a writing technique that you've never heard of, definitely are not doing, and is probably one of the most effective ways of understanding good writing that there is. And the best thing is you can implement it into your routine immediately. I want you to think for just a moment of your favorite comedian and think of their material. And now I want you to steal it. Okay, before everyone starts going mental on social media and calling me out, I want to get one thing straight. This is a practice technique for creative writing and nothing more. What I'm about to tell you will help you get creative and will also help you understand great comedy writing. Obviously, I'm not telling you ever to attempt anyone else's material on stage. It simply will not work for you, and there are many reasons why. For one, it's not yours. So hands off. 2, you will not be able to deliver anyone else's material correctly, because it's theirs. And 3, your audience deserves to hear your best, not someone else's. So don't let them and yourself down. This is a creative writing technique that you should implement into your routine immediately. This is a technique used a lot in marketing, particularly copyright marketing, advertising in print, they call it. Marketers know to understand how to create great adverts, they must first recreate successful ones that have gone before them, and copy, of course, what has worked for them. This stand-up comedy technique is no different. It's the same idea. If you were to learn an instrument, you would of course learn someone else's music first, understand the scales and their styles and their techniques, and then start to implement it into your own. A magician will learn every trick they can get their hands on at the beginning of their career, to later on adapt and learn their own style based on what they've learned before. The only way to effectively learn something new is to imitate those who have gone before you. So here's what you're going to do. Put on your favorite live comedy performance and write down everything the comedian says. You don't have to finish the whole show, but the more you can write, the better. Obviously, you will be pausing the video a lot to catch up, and it will take a long time. But if it's work you enjoy listening to, it should be more fun than it is hard work. Every time they deliver a punchline, I want you to highlight it in whatever way you want, either by leaving a gap or underlining it. Just something so when you step back and look at the paper, you can see exactly how consistently all the punchlines appear on the page. After a while of doing this, you will see a pattern begin to form. You will see how they set up their stories and punchlines. You'll begin to see how they react when a line which doesn't normally get a laugh does, or else a punchline that normally delivers very effectively doesn't. And don't think that doesn't happen to them. The difference between your favorite comedians and regular ones is that the very best are able to adapt to every situation and make it work for them. By studying their material in your writing with your notes, you will be able to have further access to their writing process. Then after you do this, you'll be able to write down all the topics that were discussed and all the punchlines. And you will notice very quickly that they don't have many topics to cover, but they have a lot of punchlines. They never confuse the audience with too much information and always deliver as many punchlines as possible, keeping the story as entertaining as possible. Every comic has gone to a great deal of trouble to implement as many hard-hitting punchlines in as many sections of their stories as they possibly can. Even if a comic isn't known for delivering many punchlines, they are still delivering their writing in a way that's going to continuously get feedback from the audience. You can even do this exercise with comics who are known to improvise a lot of their set. Even if the topics tend to change upon different performances, you will notice that the rhythm and structure, and even down to when the punchline is delivered, is nearly often similar or exactly the same. The more often you can do this exercise with as many comics you can think of, the quicker you'll realize that there is a system to funny and you just got to tap into it. The aim of the game is to entertain, and successful comics are always entertaining first and then getting their point across and expressing themselves whatever way they see fit. Do this exercise with hard-hitting, offensive comics, and you'll understand very quickly that they have even more crafted setups in order to get away with the kind of style of material they do. They have a lot of material at the beginning of a show designed just to test an audience and see early on what they can and cannot get away with, only to be able to deliver the hard-hitting stuff later on when everyone is primed and ready. It's a constant back and forth between the comedian and the audience, with the comedian pushing a little harder each and every time. And understanding their writing and the creative process is the fastest way to understand how they can get away and deliver the offensive material they are known and loved for. Now, after you write down all their material, give it a go and perform it in practice. Speak like you would if you were on stage. Focus on the material you are saying and ask yourself the questions. Do the jokes work? Are the punchlines consistent? Is there a rhythm and flow of the entire set? Again, do this with as many different comics you can think of and as many different styles in stand-up comedy. Put on your favorite comedians and write out their entire stand-up performance so you can really get into their mind and understand their creative process. And now, a bonus tip: if you really want to excel in this and understand great comedy writing, I want you to do it with comics that are very successful, whose work you do not enjoy. Because just because you don't enjoy the material, it does not mean for a second that their material doesn't work. Certainly if they are very, very successful. Clearly a lot of people are enjoying their work, and you should tap into what works for them and understand it, even if you don't implement it into your own comedy style. Understanding as many different forms and as many different ways comedy works will benefit you greatly. So do the same thing with a comic you don't enjoy. Write out exactly what they say and understand it. And even after you understand it, you may become a fan. And then you enjoy another comic's work, which is always better. In this game, it is better to enjoy a comedy's work than it is to dislike them. Because disliking comics as a comic, it's not going to get you anywhere. Understanding what works for each and every comic, regardless of what your interests are, will benefit you greatly and will make you the strongest comic you can be. Even when you do this exercise with the comics you do like and the comics you do not like, notice how they all have one thing in common. Their language is very, very easy to understand. They never confuse the audience with long story forms without any entertainment or joy in them. Even the comics known for doing long story styles still bring the best out of their audience whenever they can get a chance to. And notice how the writing works in their style of talking on stage. This is a very important technique to remember when you're writing. When writing for the stage, always write with your own comedy voice in mind. Now that's when I say writing for the stage. At the beginning, when you're just creating jokes, you are not writing for the stage. You are just creating jokes and just that. And of course, you can be as creative and crazy as you want in your joke creating process. And every joke is rewritten. If you want your joke to work and you want your style to come across as most effectively as it can on stage, then the jokes are rewritten. So get it from the brain to the paper and be creative as you possibly can. But to get it from the paper to the stage, you need to rewrite it in your own style and your own voice. And that is exactly what these comedians have done that you are now mimicking. Another reason to rewrite your jokes as often as you can is that they can always be funnier. Once you've done this for some time, you will soon have great comedy writing from excellent comedians in your handwriting with your notes. Talk about understanding good comedy writing. There is no stronger technique than this. So have fun and recreate some of your favorite stand-up comedy shows along with some of your not so favorite comedy shows, and you will benefit from it greatly, as well as becoming a historian of stand-up comedy. The more obsessed you get at this technique, the greater you will become as a comedy writer. And regardless of what career you want to pursue, a great writer is the most dangerous thing you can be. Get involved in the comment section and let me know what comedian you were going to try this technique out with and how you got on at it. Hit the like button if you are excited to give it a go, and of course, smash the subscribe button and join the community and never miss out on a future video. I've got hundreds of different video ideas to upload on this channel. All you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy as I continue to do my very best to bring you the best videos that I can. Always continue to learn, and you can continue to do that right now by clicking any of the links on your screen. I will see you on the next one. Keep being proud to make people happy. Right on.